People who grew up in the 1990s carry a psychology that feels strange to almost every generation that came after them. They were raised in a world between two worlds, not completely offline, not fully digital, a generation that remembers life before smartphones and at the same time watched the internet slowly come to life. They grew up with Game Boys, MTV, VHS tapes, and dial-up internet that screamed before it connected. Without realizing it, all of this shaped how they think, feel, trust, and survive to this day. The 90s generation became the bridge generation, 1 foot in the old world, 1 foot in the new one. As kids, they disappeared outside for hours, riding bikes until sunset, exploring neighborhoods without GPS, getting lost, and finding their way on their own. But unlike earlier generations, fear had already entered childhood. Stranger danger, endless news cycles, warnings that made parents more cautious. So their childhood was freedom with invisible limits. Enough space to build confidence. Enough fear to stay alert. And that combination created something rare today: resilience mixed with awareness. They learned to solve problems without instant answers. No Google, no tutorials, just trial, error, and patience. And patience became one of their quiet strengths. Everything took time, waiting for pages to load, waiting for photos to be developed, waiting for someone to come back online on MSN. Even messages were written, deleted, rewritten, and only sent after thought. That waiting trained their minds in ways the modern world no longer understands. At home, many of them were latchkey kids, both parents working, a key around the neck, an empty house after school. They heated their own food, did homework alone, learned to rely on themselves in silence. That shaped them into people who are adaptable, independent, capable. They grew up fast, sometimes too fast. Culturally, the 90s shaped their emotional tone. Music wasn't just background noise, it was identity. Grunge taught quiet rebellion, hip-hop taught expression, pop culture offered escape. Then came the first digital world: MSN, email, early online games. It felt exciting, but slow. Technology didn't control them yet, they controlled it. Then came the fear of Y2K, the idea that everything could suddenly stop, that systems might fail overnight. Even though nothing happened, the psychological imprint remained. A sense that stability is never guaranteed. That adapting matters more than feeling safe. That mindset still lives inside them today. As adults, people from the 90s carry a hybrid psychology. They understand technology, but crave real conversations. They understand speed, but miss slowness. They value connection, but protect their inner peace. Compared to Gen Z, they grew up with less stimulation, which gave them longer attention spans, but makes modern life feel overwhelming. Compared to older generations, they are more emotionally aware, but less emotionally expressive. They live in between, too old to chase every trend, too young to fully disconnect. Many struggle with imposter syndrome, especially in a world dominated by AI, automation, and constant comparison. They don't feel lost. They feel out of sync, because the world changed faster than the emotional rhythm they were built for. And yet, this generation carries a quiet strength. In crises, they stay calm. When things break, they adapt. When systems fail, they improvise. They learned early that life doesn't come with a manual. You learn it while moving forward. And maybe that's the core of 90s psychology. They're not cold, they're cautious. They're not distant, they're selective. Nostalgic but grounded. Sensitive but resilient. Independent, yet deeply human. They are the last generation raised mostly by the real world before screens took over childhood. So here's the real question. Which generation do you think is mentally stronger? The ones who learn to adapt to change, or the ones born directly into it? Tell me which generation you're from in the comments. And if this helped you understand yourself a little better, follow the channel. Every time, we go deeper.